Turner. Now, don't forget, you can listen to Good Things. We are streaming live over at supertalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And you can watch us, too, on your computer or your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Today, we've got a great topic to cover for you today, Gallant Hearts Guide Dog. And we've got joining us one of the co-founders and the executive director, Becky Floyd, along with one of the board of directors chairman, Gloria Murphy. And I don't think you can see him, but we'll make sure that is fixed before the end of our conversation. We got Huck with us, which is an English cream golden retriever, which is one of the dogs you guys are raising for good work. So welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Becky, I'm going to start with you because this is kind of your baby, your pet in terms of...
This is my godchild.
So how do you, when someone asks about Gallant Hearts Guide Dog Center, how do you describe it to people?
Well, it's the most exciting thing that I've ever found, and I've worked for many years, but since 2009, I've done Gallant Hearts. We founded it. We want to breed, raise, train, and place, free of charge, guide dogs with people who are blind throughout the nation, and we even have 2 in Canada. And that's our goal. That's what we do. We do the breeding, the puppy raising. We do the training and the placing of guide dogs. And unfortunately, we do the fundraising, and that's the hard part.
That is the hard part, because you do want to keep it free and charge for those who may need it most.
Yes, we do. It's free.
Yeah.
They don't pay a cent for them.
Did you make that? Was that a conscious decision when you first started it, Becky? Because there could be avenues where someone say, hey, if you've got someone that's got the means that might want to, help offset some of the costs, do you just say, write a big donation?
Right. No, it was a conscious decision initially. We wanted it free because not everybody could afford it. Those that can make a donation, that's fine. If they want to do that, that's fine. They just don't have to.
They don't have to. Well, that's great that that's not a barrier for people who may need this.
Right.
But prior to starting Gallant Hearts, Becky, you have worked a long time with those that are visually impaired.
I have.
So what's this is a special community to you. Yeah. So what is your connection with the visually impaired community?
Well, first of all, I worked for the vocational rehabilitation for the blind program for a number of years, for 10 years, basically. And then I worked in protection and advocacy. We worked with some blind people. We worked with people of all disabilities to protect their legal and human rights, both in school, college, workplace, accommodations, whatever. Then after that, after I retired from that, it's when I started Gallant Hearts. I knew I wasn't ready at age 63 to sit down and do nothing, so I started Gallant Hearts. And, of course,
here we are.
Now, 15 years later.
You're not ready to sit down yet either, are you?
Yeah, I'm still not sitting down. I am right now. But, I'm busy every day, and it's fun. Keeps me going. Hope to be going for a number of years yet, but
I'm inspired just by the fact that at 60, after retirement, you said, you know what, I am still young enough to chase my dreams. That's and right. Inspire and impact people and create something new. So
actually,
to me,
that's been my dream since I was 21 years old.
Was to open something like Gallant Hearts?
Yeah, to have a guide dog school. After I got my first dog, it was such a great experience. I want other people to be able to experience the same thing. Dogs have made my life.
I think many could say cheers to that, although Rhino, he's a cat person, but we'll forgive him.
That's all right.
That's all right for this. Okay, Gloria. So how did you find your way to Gallant Heart?
Well, I went to the University of Southern Miss.
To the top.
To the top is right. And I was in a sorority, Delta Gamma, when I was there. And we actually partnered. Our motto is do good and service for sight is our philanthropy. And having a guide dog school in Mississippi, and specifically, from where I was from, was awesome. And so we partnered with them. And I met Becky, and actually started raising with us, though, after I graduated college. I ran into a friend of mine who I went to college with at Target, and she had a dog in Target. And who doesn't want to have a dog in Target? And I kind of was asking her, like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, remember Gallant Hearts? I'm, taking a dog out. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I would love to do that, And so the rest of it was history. I think I reached out to Becky, and I think I had a dog within a couple of weeks, and I've had a dog pretty much ever since, and that was in 2019.
So are you considered, do you help raise or do you help train? Like, are you a trainer now, Gloria? Or are you like a foster parent? Like, what's your like kind of term with having the dog?
So we call it a puppy raiser. I will get the dog anywhere from 10 weeks old, and sometimes they're a little bit older. And I'll have the dog for a year and a half, 2 years. And so I basically help with socialization. Can they go into public and not act a fool, and learn how to act how they're supposed to act in public, and then basic commands. So those are the two things that we focus on, and then after me, they go on to a professional that we is employed with Gallant Hearts.
Becky, how many puppy raisers do you have?
Not enough. There is a worldwide shortage of puppy raisers. And I told my secretary this morning, I said, we need to get something on Facebook. We need some puppy raisers. We have some Dobermans getting ready to go out into the world in just a few weeks. And we need some puppy raisers. So anybody out there interested in being a puppy raiser, yell at me. And we'll be glad.
Or if you really are, you can text 601-879-4395. You can yell at your radio if you would like to, but for now, we're not going to be able to hear that back. But a text message, we can make sure that we get that to Miss Becky. If not, I know you can find them sort of online. What makes a good puppy raiser? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a person that is willing to get that dog out and take it places. You go to the store, you take the dog. You put that jacket on, and you take it to the store.
Does that give you legal right to take it into places?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. By state law in Mississippi and in most states, you can take the dog, the puppy raiser, who is a trainer of sorts of the puppy. They can take the dog wherever a guide dog would go.
And the point is just to get it where it doesn't go into Target and act a fool,
right.
or it can go into church, or it can go to work, or it can go to all these places.
Yeah, and it gets used to going, and so it's calm. It's, you have to teach it to be calm, but after a while, it is a very calm dog, and it just takes everything for granted, like, okay, this is where we're going this time. It's all right. They learn to trust their owner, their handler. They learn to love them, and they learn to respect them. And those are the three ingredients that are needed for bonding with your dog.
Gloria, how do you turn your puppy over?
It is ridiculously hard. Becky and I kind of have a deal going right now where if she takes my dog away, which she does,
which I just did.
Yes, she gives me another one. So within a day or two, actually. So it's so hard. It really is. I won't belittle that, but it is so rewarding. Mm-hmm. I think Gallant Hearts and Becky does a fantastic job of letting us know where our dogs are and how much of a difference they're making. And we make sure that our puppy raisers do know, hey, this is the big picture. And it helps that blind person have their independence back. And they can go to Target, they can go to a restaurant and independently walk around and get to experience that. And that's nothing like it.
About how long, Becky, does it take from a puppy being born to then go through the full training to be ready to get to someone who would need it, who is visually impaired?
Typically, they stay. They have to stay. We don't bring them back to us for training until they're at least 18 months of age, and there's reasons for that. They have to do with health testing, their hip X-rays and elbow X-rays to make sure they're not going to be dysplastic. But we get them back at 18 to 20, 22 sometimes months of age. And then they go through 4 months of training in a harness. Our trainer takes them, keeps them in his home. And we're quite different from most of the guide dog schools. One, we're smaller. We're very, very small. Two, we are more personalized. We take that dog and make sure that it behaves in the house, that people can live with it, that a blind person can live with it.
And you give it that special Mississippi hospitality.
That's it. No, it has to have that.
It has to have that.
It has to.
You guys stick with us. We've got more with Gloria and Becky, SuperTalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And don't forget about SuperTalk TV, where you can watch us on your computer or your mobile device. We're continuing our conversation with Becky Floyd. She is the executive director of Gallant Hearts Guide Dog, as well as one of the co-founders. And Gloria Murphy. She is board of directors and chairman. She also has her English cream golden retriever, Huck, who you can't see yet on, I guess, on SuperTalk TV, but we'll make sure that happens before the end of it. I know Rhino's trying, but you also have him so patiently hanging out there with you, which just goes to show if you become a puppy raiser with Gallant Heart Guide Dog, you take him everywhere you go, even if you come to the radio. Okay, if you go to SuperTalk TV, you can see Huck now. He's beautiful and he's precious. Okay, Becky, so we have Huck, I want to call him Buck, but Huck here with us. He's a golden retriever, and then I heard you say that you had some other dogs that may be ready. What type of dogs make for good guide dogs?
Okay, we have, of course, our English cream goldens. We have a breeding program in that. We have a breeding program in German Shepherd dogs, and we have a breeding program that was mine initially when I started Gallant Hearts in Doberman Pinschers. Dobermans were my dogs. I have worked a Doberman as a guide dog myself since 1968, so a few years. But we have those three breeds. We had donations from someone who had health-tested parents, a couple of standard poodles that we have trained. But we are very, very particular as to health because we don't want to put the time and money into training a dog and have it in 2 years die of some disease that could have been prevented had we done the health testing.
Gotcha. In that way. How many dogs a year, if you're fully staffed at capacity, are you able to train and then connect with someone who may need it?
I said when we started Gallant Hearts that we never wanted to train over 50 a year. And we're, of course, a long way from that, so I'm not worried about getting there in my lifetime. But unless somebody comes up with a lot of money. But
you never know who's listening to good things.
But we would like to double that right now if we could, which we could do if we could hire more trainers.
What's the well? I mean, I know the need's great, but do you have a waiting list for your dogs?
Sure. Oh my goodness, yes. We are different from most guide dog schools. With most guide dog schools, the trainee, the person getting a dog, will go to the school, stay in residence at the school in a dormitory-like setting, and train with the dog every day for 26 days. Here, however, we do one-on-one training, and the person that we train the dog, the people apply for the dog, and the person we select for that dog will be notified, and we physically take the dog to the person, and the trainer stays in a motel in the area and trains them where they will live and work. So if they have some special needs in their area, some special traffic issues or so, then that's what the trainer can work on with them. But meantime, he works with them and makes sure that they bond and that they can work together safely.
I know this may be a silly question, Becky, but what is the job of the guide dog? I get it, it's a guide dog. but also for many of us who have pets, I'm thinking, gosh, I would not walk out into the running traffic with my dog right now. We'd both be gone.
We have a crazy trainer, and he actually does blindfold himself, and without anybody to help him, he works that dog in traffic under blindfold. He said, if I cannot trust that dog to lead me, how can I expect anybody else to trust it? So he really does a great job for us. We have great reviews from the people who get our dogs. We have a great reputation in the blindness community, and I'm very grateful grateful for that. But
So they're basically meant to be the eyes.
yes, they actually walk down the sidewalk. They'll stop when you get to a step up or step down or an uneven part of the sidewalk so that the person can put their right foot out, find what's out there, and be ready for it when they tell the dog forward. They go around obstacles. Some dogs are better than others about figuring out obstacles and getting back on the path. So Dobermans are particularly good at that. But not everybody can handle a Doberman. Not everybody should handle a Doberman. They are a very dominant dog and need a very dominant handler. So it depends on what they need in a dog as to whether or not they get a Golden or a Shepherd or a Doberman. And we try to give them their preference if at all possible.
Gloria, you said that Huck is number 4 for you. Have they all been Goldens, or have you had a variety of dogs as puppy raisers?
They have all been Goldens, and it is a little joke between me and Becky that I'm the Golden advocate of the group, and she is the Doberman advocate of the group. The English creams, I just love them, and so they're my Golden Retrievers are my favorite, and so I think Becky could convince me to raise another one, but the Goldens are my favorite. So those are the ones I've done so far.
Now that you're 4 dogs in, like, what are some of those things you wish you would have known with the first puppy?
It's kind of like asking a parent, like, what do you learn from a kid? Each dog has been a little bit different. My first dog was Walker, and I just learned how to be a dog mom, but also how to like be a puppy raiser and just how to navigate that. And so it's been different with each one of them. I think I would tell myself just a lot of patience and a lot of grace. And I think the most important thing too with guide dog training is to be consistent and just to follow through with what you're doing. So,
if there was somebody listening to Good Things, Gloria, that thought, hey, maybe that sounds cool to be a puppy raiser, but man, I don't want to, I'd say I don't want to screw them up. Like, I don't want to, I would hate to like be the one that didn't turn it out right or something happened. Help us take some of that like anxiety away. I mean, what is it like in the life of a puppy raiser?
It is so rewarding and wonderful to just know where your dog is going, first of all. But to take a little ease off is Becky is always a phone call away. And
have you ever lost one of them?
Day or night.
Like, have you ever lost one of the puppies?
No.
Hey, it happens to every parent. We all lose a kid at a time or two, okay?
I'm so thankful I've not lost.
But puppies, they run away or they get out of the fence or, or whatever it may be. Yeah.
No,
the look on your face, Gloria.
I'm sorry. I was like, no, my gosh. Like, I would call Becky frantic and it would be a whole situation. But no, Becky and Gallant Hearts does a wonderful job of providing the tools for us. We have a puppy coordinator that's on staff that is available for you to call and talk to. They do a wonderful job of providing material for us. We have a Facebook page where all of us, talk, and we meet a good bit. We have training a good bit. It's just they really give you the tools to do it, and you just got to jump in with it. And you're gonna mess up, but like that's life, So
what's it like the first few times? Because as a puppy trainer, you've got the opportunity to take your dogs into public, because that is your job, is to get them but you're clearly not blind. I mean, obviously. Yeah. And so do people like stop you and say you have a guide dog? But I guess people would. Oh yeah, they would. They probably would. Is that a little, because I feel like that would be a little awkward.
Yes and no. Typically, they see that there is on the side it says in training on Huck's
that's nice.
Best. Mm-hmm. So the in training part typically is pretty good. They do sometimes question like why do you have a dog, and that gives me a perfect opportunity to explain what I'm doing and hopefully get Becky a few more puppy raisers. Right. But in public, I will say this: like a guide dog in training or just a service dog in training in general has the same rules as if it's a service dog in general, and so like that means even eye contact sometimes can make a difference on a dog, but I say just completely ignore them is the best option in public. And so anytime I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, hey, like you can pet him now, but just because you can pet my dog for this particular situation.
I know I felt so bad because when you guys got here with Huck today, you just want the sugar from him. Yeah. And you just walk up and then I was halfway through petting. I was like, oh, wait. This is not appropriate, and so you have to like back back off. But I think that's a good thing to remind folks, especially if you see therapy or with it, they are working, and so it's it's not just a normal a normal pet.
Because I can promise Huck would rather you pet him than him do anything else any time of the day. So,
but they're obviously well taken care of to then turn around and take care of their perceived owners as well as sort of they do. Becky, does it ever get old to make the right match between dog and person?
No, and of course sometimes we don't do a real good job of matching. We think we are, but something may happen and they just do not bond. So we take the dog back, and what works for one person may work very well for another.
There's always the next person in line.
And then we can find that person another dog.
All right, stick with us. We got more for you coming up next. Radio station, but you can watch us too. We're on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And Rhino the Wizard has worked up the video camera over at SuperTalk TV so you can see Huck. He is a guide dog in training with Gallant Hearts Guide Dog, if you're just joining us. And he's going to be someone's everything, right? And so we've got Becky, who's the executive director, along with Gloria, who's on the board of directors, joining us to talk a little bit more about it. We've learned a lot today, Becky, about sort of the process of raising guide dogs, the process of training them, and then you choose to do this all for free, which is mind-boggling to me. Now, it's not free, but you choose to place the dog with a person who is visually impaired for free.
Right.
But what does it cost your nonprofit, Gallant Hearts, about per dog to get a dog ready to be someone's guide dog?
Approximately $30,000 per dog.
Wow.
From the time they're bred, the mama is bred, until the time the person receives his dog and goes through the training with the dog. It's about $30,000.
Which now you can understand and appreciate that you made that conscious decision to raise money, connect funds, so that folks who are visually impaired can have these guide dogs and not let money be the barrier. Right. Because I can't think of many folks who would be able to come up with that off the cuff. Now, Gloria, I know you have gone around and really helped amplify the message and then encourage folks to help donate. What gave you the passion to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said earlier, I went to Southern Miss and was in a sorority there, and I was in Delta Gamma, and our philanthropy is Service for Sight, and so we partnered a lot with the chapters here in Mississippi and at Ole Miss and State and Southern, and we go to their fundraising events, their philanthropy events, and then it kind of just grew. We started going to Alabama and Auburn and LSU, and so now I think I'm going to 8 different chapters in a semester, and we do different events depending on what the chapter wants to do, but they raise money. I think in 2023 we raised $77,000, just me and a dog talking to college women, and
that's 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And some change.
Yeah.
And plus.
Yeah, and plus.
Yeah. So it's absolutely fantastic to be able to do that. And it's just so rewarding to see the difference these college women are making and like that we're getting to make, and spreading the message. And it's really great. So
Becky, for someone who may not necessarily understand what it's like living visually impaired and what a guide dog can do to liberate you, I mean, they would say maybe they have the stick or they have like help or whatever.
Right.
Why need a guide dog? Like, what does a guide dog provide that only a guide dog can provide?
Well, first of all, that companionship. Secondly, something that you can depend on. Like when I go out with a dog, I can get somewhere quicker than I could with a cane, usually. I can, no matter how good a cane traveler I am, and I'm not, but the dog can get me there usually quicker and with greater accuracy. Like I can tell the dog, find the door, and he'll go to where he sees a door. The cane can't do that. I have to bang around and find it, okay? Right. So it's just looks better. It's more secure. Well, even now, as old as I am, it is more comfortable to work with a dog, to walk with a dog. When I'm out in the yard, the ground is unlevel, and if I am out there and want to walk somewhere, I call the dog. And even if I just grab her collar and walk with her, I'm a lot more secure. It gives you security that you wouldn't otherwise have.
I think that we can all appreciate that. I mean, in terms of why these are such great investments. Really, is what you're making. You're making an investment in someone else's well-being and ability to live a free and safer and sort of
Besides
healthier
that,
life.
if you're crossing a street and a car turns and crosses in front of you, the dog will stop and make you stop. Our trainer was training his first dog in person, and our second actually dog in person, and they were crossing the street at Hardy and 49 in Hattiesburg, and a car jumped the median, just turned too sharp and hit the corner, and was coming up on the median where they were standing. And the dog knocked the person back and got her out of the way of the car. Ryan, our trainer, said, "That did it for me. I was a trainer for the rest of my life."
I love that. And, my dog wouldn't. My dog would. I'm starting to really feel like I have failed as a puppy parent, Gloria. No, maybe you have not met the latest one. But so you have gone all in. Again, you've had 4 puppies that you've helped sort of raise with Gallant Heart. You have to share the story about, I guess it was your first puppy. And again, your job is to take them everywhere you go so that they can be introduced to public and sort of get used to it, accustomed to it. And you chose to take your dog where?
I chose to take the dog to Walt Disney World.
You lost your mind.
Becky told me that exact thing. She was a little concerned, but we did it, and it was fantastic. It was during 4th of July, so it was hot. And so to protect the dog's paws, we had shoes. And if you've never been to Disney, there's a lot of line. Like, you wait in line for pretty much everything. And that's what made it very interesting and rewarding and crazy all at the same time. Was we just stood in line, and so the person behind me, 4 people in front of me, everybody knew who we were by the end of every line that we waited in. The dogs even actually get to go on a few of the rides, and so that was super fun. It was an experience, but it was a great time.
Well, we have one planned later this year. I will be taking my dog.
I'll give you one to take with you, Rebecca.
Oh my God, my husband is like, no. But it's important. Like, I mean, I think the puppy raising part is important. If somebody, again, you're looking for more of those, what's the commitment to that? If you're wanting to be a puppy raiser, is it going to be a year per dog, and then you can kind of take a break if you want to? Is it longer than that? What's kind of the commitment with the puppy raiser? Yeah,
I would say it's about a year to 2 years, just depending on when you get the dog. And then the commitment is taking the dog out 2 to 3 times a week actively. You can take it everywhere, but actively taking it 2 to 3 times a week, and just living day in and day out with the dog, really, and learning house manners and all that stuff. So I would say that would be the commitment to that way.
Becky, if someone happens to just tune in and hearing about Gallant Hearts for sort of the first time, what do you want people to know about what y'all do and guide dog guiding? It feels like a Friday here. It's only Tuesday, I know.
What I'd like for people to know is that this is one of the most exciting and rewarding things you could ever do in your entire life. But it does take commitment, and it does take time. And hopefully you'll have the time to devote to the dog, have the patience, seek the information that you need from me or from our trainer, Ryan, and just go after it. Take the dog places. That's the only way he learns. That's the only way you learn.
In that way. You started Gallant Hearts at the ripe age of 61. Becky, 63. You meant 63. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you wanted to start it when you were 21. I think it was that you had mentioned. Do you look back and wish you would have started it earlier, or are you just grateful that you finally got around to doing it?
I had to make a living first, and so I got into working and enjoyed my other jobs immensely. But I can say this is the most rewarding job I've ever had. I wish I had started it earlier. We may be further along than we are now. Maybe, I don't know. I'd like to run up on a gold mine or something. That would be my ideal thing to do, but that's not going to happen.
You play scratch-offs? Because I hear folks are winning money left and right here in Mississippi.
That's not going to happen, but so we work hard at it, and fundraising is really my weakest point.
Yeah.
I'm not a good fundraiser, but we have the commitment. We have Ryan and I are totally committed. Gloria is totally committed. A lot of our people are. And we're getting ready to have a dinner in a few weeks, couple of weeks, and about 28 people, puppy raisers, staff. We'll all be here with a man from Australia who is coming to evaluate our guide dog school.
Wow. If people want more information, where do they go, Becky?
Go to our website, www.gallanthearts.org, or you can certainly always call us, and I talk probably 12 hours a day. So I'd be glad to talk to you.
All righty. Well, Gloria, I appreciate your time too. Huck, we appreciate you, buddy. You're a good old dog down there. But you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.